You saved my daughter's life. You're coming with us, boy. The second we got home, I threw him the biggest steak in my fridge, and he grabbed it in his teeth and bolted out the door, and I figured we'd never see him again. But the next day, we were on a walk when I spotted another kid drowning in the Mississippi, in the exact same spot my daughter was yesterday. As soon as a crowd formed, the same dog sprinted in out of nowhere and saved the day. I raised an eyebrow and turned to my wife. Isn't it a little strange that this happened 2 days in a row? She put her hands on her hips. How dare you question a hero? But a week later, the seventh kid was drowning in the Mississippi River, and it was the seventh day in a row that the dog dragged the kid out and enjoyed his steak afterwards. I furrowed my eyebrows because no one had drowned in that river for 10 years, and now it was happening every single day. So one morning, I hid behind the boathouse and spied on him, and for 4 hours, he just slept in the sun, until I saw my wife come down the path with our daughter. The second she stopped to greet a neighbor, our daughter started chasing a pigeon, heading straight toward the bank. The dog instantly started running towards my daughter and knocked her into the water. I instantly shot up, and as soon as the dog saw me, he ran into the water, grabbed my daughter by the collar, and dragged her to the side where she coughed up water. I gasped, and the dog wagged his tail with his mouth wide open, already waiting for his steak. The color drained from my face because I couldn't believe it. He was never saving anyone. He was pushing kids in the water and then saving them because he knew someone would hand him a steak afterwards, and I handed him the very first one. That night there was a scratch at my door, and the dog was sitting on my step, still waiting for his reward. My daughter fell into the Mississippi.
Warning. Don't open this
Oh my
app.
god.
Your brain will
Oh
instantly...
my god.
I was in the wheelchair accessible area of the concert, enjoying the show, when a man without a wheelchair stopped in front of me. His back was turned to me, so I tapped his shoulder. Can you move, please? I can't see over you. But he bent down and laughed in my face. Nope, I can't see over anyone in the general section, but nobody here blocks my view. But you're blocking my view, I replied, and he instantly flipped his VIP lanyard up. Okay, then do something about it. This event organizer is my dad. He laughed and turned back, standing even closer to me, so I couldn't see a thing except his Gucci suit. My hands tightened because I'd saved 6 months for these tickets, having waited 5 years for this band to come to my city. They announced they'd be playing my favorite song next, and my chest went cold. Can you move for just this song? Just this one? I've been dreaming to see it live. But he wouldn't even turn back this time. No, this one's my favorite. I tried to wheel around him to see the song, but the row was too packed to move, and that's when my wheel bumped his hip. He instantly spun around, suddenly red in the face. Touch me one more time and my dad will sue you so hard you'll have to sell that little transportation device just to pay him back. My chest was burning as he kicked my wheelchair hard enough to rattle it and turned back around. I waved over the security guard. He stormed over. What's going on? But the man just held his lanyard up. The event organizer's my dad. Get him if you want to talk to me. The security guard looked at me, then simply walked away, and my heart shattered while everyone around me screamed the words to my favorite song. I was now nearly in tears, still staring at the man's back, when suddenly a man in a suit walked over. What's going on, son? My eyes widened, realizing this was the dad. The man pointed down at me. Tell him to stop complaining. I'm trying to watch the show. I opened my mouth to explain, but the dad interrupted. Son, would you mind pressing that button on your wheelchair? I stared up at him, confused, but he nodded. Press it. So I did. My chair drove straight into his son's hip, and he screamed and fell. Dad, why did you tell him to do that? His dad stood over him. Since you want to watch the show from down here, you should meet the qualifications. He pressed the button on my chair for me again, driving me into his son's foot again while he screamed in pain. The next song started, and I watched the band over the top of him. Now he was the one who couldn't see over me. I was in the wheelchair-accessible area of the concert. As soon as my dad's lawyer said his will left everything to me, I heard my brother George's hands slam against the table. That's insane. He only did that because Ryan made him feel bad by faking being blind. My throat closed up because I lost my eyesight 8 years ago in a car accident. You know that's not true. I heard his chair scrape back and the door open. I'm going to prove you aren't blind in court, and I'm taking every penny when I do. I turned towards him. George, wait! But the door slammed behind him. A week later, I found myself sitting in a courtroom while George's lawyer stood at the front and presented their case to the judge. Your Honor, we have proof the defendant isn't blind at all. Papers shuffled at their table. We have a video of him reacting to things nobody would notice without their sight. The judge's chair creaked as she leaned forward. Go on. I heard a laptop click open. Watch closely, Your Honor. In this video, he turns his head every time a car passes. George cut in, his voice smug, and he's been faking it for 8 years just to guilt our father. The judge turned her attention to me. Ryan, can you explain the head movement? My mouth went dry as I turned towards her voice. Blind people turn towards sound. That's hearing, not seeing. The judge stayed quiet, and my chest went tight, because it felt like she might actually believe George over me. Dad's lawyer finally stood up. Your Honor, before this goes any further, I need to show the court a video my client's father recorded before he died. I heard George's breath catch beside me. Then a laptop clicked open, and Dad's voice filled the courtroom. If you're watching this, George is trying to take my will to court. I left everything to Ryan because he was the only one who visited without asking for money. George, I know you stole over $200,000 from me over the last 10 years. I have every bank record and every excuse you gave the accountant, so you get nothing. Nobody spoke until the judge cleared her throat. I think we're done here. This case is dismissed. I heard George's chair scrape back hard, and this time nobody tried to stop him from storming out. As soon as my dad's lawyer said his will, hands off the phone.
She drove past the hospital. And I said, keep doing that, and I don't want to. Can you please hurry the frick up?
Basketball practice when a car slammed into my body, and I felt a sickening crunch shoot down my legs. I screamed because my legs bent the wrong way, and the woman who hit me jumped out, panicking. This is so bad, I have to do something. Then, instead of calling an ambulance, she grabbed me under the arms and dragged me across the pavement, my ruined legs aching with pain. Wait, don't touch me. I need proper help. But she shoved me into her back seat. Just stay quiet. I'll take you myself. Something was wrong. And as she sped off, I prayed she hadn't just cost me my legs forever. But moments later, she flew past the giant blue hospital sign without slowing down, and my heart stopped. The hospital was right there. Turn around. But she gripped the wheel tighter. I can't take you there. My insurance can't handle another accident. I'll lose everything. I gasped. She wasn't helping me. She was saving herself. Please, I can't feel my legs anymore. But she put her hand up. I'll buy you a new basketball, okay? Just shut up. I clenched my fists, staring down at my gray legs as the numbness crawled past my knees, and felt 10 years of basketball dreams slip away. But then I spotted a cop car 2 lanes over, and I knew I had to do something. So I lunged forward and yanked the wheel with everything I had. Get off! She shrieked, clawing at my arms. But I held on as the car screeched sideways, and blue lights flashed on behind us. Relief flooded me until she shoved my head below the window, forced a smile, and rolled hers down. Sorry, officer. My brother's having a medical episode. I'm rushing him to the hospital. I saw the officer nod, telling her to have a good night, and my heart sank. So I threw myself up at the window and screamed, "She hit me with her car and kidnapped me. Look at my legs." The officer paused, and his face went cold when he saw my legs, gray and soaked in blood. Hold on, man. You said you're taking him to the hospital, but the hospital is back that way? She panicked, her lies slipping. But the officer was already yanking her out of the car and slapping cuffs on her wrists. I don't care. I can't afford a higher insurance bill. She screamed as they pinned her to the hood as the ambulance loaded me on, and I begged the paramedics to save my legs. But at the hospital, the doctor had to amputate my legs. But the lawsuit I won from the accident bought me a pair of robotic ones. I'll never make it to the NBA, but now I dunk on the legs she paid for. I was walking home from basketball.
And I go to basketball, just said subscribe.
I pushed my
91% of
I pushed my girlfriend down the water slide and she screamed, "Wee! I'm so happy you took me to this vacation resort." I smiled because I was glad we were on vacation to work on our relationship together. But just as she reached the bottom, a dozen men with rifles were pouring out of the palm trees, and red laser dots were all over our bodies. I instantly ran to the bottom of the slide and grabbed her into the cave so we could survive the ambush, and I had no idea if we were going to survive. Flashlights swept past the entrance, so I clamped my hand over her sobs, but nobody was shooting, which made me more scared because it meant they wanted us alive for something very, very bad. She peeled my hand off her mouth. This might be the last time we're alive enough to see each other. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the fights I started, the cheating, the money I took. I didn't want us to die angry at each other. So I pressed my forehead to hers and nodded. You made a lot of mistakes, but we love each other, and that's all that matters. But before she could respond, the men surrounded us with rifles. We found you. I held her tighter, but she stood up with her arms out. For a second, I thought she was going to take a bullet for me, but that's when every gunman lowered their rifles and screamed, "Congratulations!" A confetti cannon popped off over their heads. My heart was still pounding with adrenaline, and I was extremely confused. But my girlfriend looked up at me like she was the smartest girl in the world. I planned out this whole thing, baby. The guns, the chase, everything. Because I needed you to see that when we thought it was the end, we chose each other. We can never give up on us. I saved our relationship. I instantly vomited from shock. My girlfriend hired a dozen armed men to hunt me across an island so I'd stop wanting to leave her. I stood up and stepped past her open arms. You cheated on me multiple times. You stole money from me, and you just made me think I was about to be killed. We're done. The gunmen went silent, and they walked me to their boat, and watching the island shrink behind us was the calmest I'd felt in a year. I pushed my girlfriend down.
91% of people.
My mom is here. You have to hide. I was rehearsing my proposal speech in the bathroom mirror when my girlfriend, Danielle, burst in, grabbed my arm, and pulled me into the bedroom. I clenched the ring in my fist, praying she hadn't seen it yet. Get behind the bed, Danielle whispered, shoving me behind her Murphy bed. She pushed the bed up until it clicked shut when her mom's voice floated in. Danielle, honey, where are you? I stood wedged behind the bed, not daring to move, the ring pressed flat against my palm, because if her mom found me like this, the proposal I'd been planning for months was over before it started. I heard her mom's footsteps enter the room, stopping in front of my hiding spot. Why does it smell like cologne in here? Is that worthless boyfriend of yours here? I bit my tongue to keep from arguing. No, Mom, he's not here, Danielle said, too fast. Her mom sniffed, scanning the room like she didn't believe her. Good, she said. I don't know what you see in him.